Where's my music go, guys? Where's my music at? It's not here. Oh, here we go again. We screwed up again because this is why I want Joe on here. You see this? You see this?
Good evening.
Do you see that? That's why, Sean. That's...
Operators are standing by.
Welcome to Chasing Prophecy Radio, where we discuss the unidentified, the unexplainable, paranormal, conspiracies, and much more. Starring your host and co-host, Jenny Nicasio, Sean Kelly, and Jason Sledgehammer and Petro. Brought to you by UPRN Network. Now for your host, Jenny Nicasio.
Is there a reason for this night? Huh?
I don't know, but we're live now.
Good evening, listeners. Welcome to Chasing Prophecy on Torture Tuesday. Let the games have already begun, or I'd say let them begin.
Yes.
Jenny, now to you.
I just don't get it. I
All
don't
right,
understand.
Sean, in today's forecast, take it.
Why?
Today's forecast is hot. It's damn
what
hot.
the heck is going on? I swear there's ghosts in this machine.
Operators are standing by.
Welcome to Chasing Prophecy Radio, where we discuss the unidentified, the unexplainable, paranormal, conspiracies, and much more. Starring your host and co-host, Jenny Nicasio, Sean Kelly, and Jason Sledgehammer and Petro. Brought to you by UPRN Network. Now for your host, Jenny Nicasio.
Good evening and welcome to Chasing Prophecy on FM 105.3 in New Orleans. And I do apologize. It seems like StreamYard is still messed up and I don't know what to do about it because I'm not a technician. Well,
Operator error.
Can you hear us okay, guys? Can you hear us?
I hear you, Jenny. Jenny, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Jenny, can you hear me? You sure you can hear me?
I can hear Lee hardly.
Hi, Julia. How are you? Julie? Pleasure to
I
meet
can
you.
hardly hear you, boys.
So we had a double intro night.
No, that's because we need a producer. That's what's wrong.
To kick off for Torture Tuesday.
Yep. I swear next week it's going to work. We're not going to have no problem.
No, it's not going to work unless we have someone to
There
help.
are gremlins every Tuesday. It just depends how many of them are awake.
No, I think there's seriously something wrong with either StreamYards or not having a producer to help me do this because seriously, guys, it shouldn't be this bad.
Wow, that got loud.
Boy, that got loud.
We need to get a Mac.
It's not that. It's StreamYards because why does our video cut off? Why?
Your internet connection?
I don't know. It only works if you got Trish back. Hi, Gary. Good
Hello,
to see you,
Gary.
Gary.
She's on Monday nights, I believe, Gary.
She's on, Monday nights.
See,
The Missing
Trish
Pete.
she's not with us any longer. She wasn't happy, so she left. So
Hi, Irene. How are you? We get a lot of good people here. This is nice. We got
a nice crowd. Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Torture Tuesday on Chasing Prophecy Radio. Sean, now to you.
Okay, the weather again out there is hot. It's damn hot. It's so
I like
damn
your
hot.
Easter pastel colored shirt you're wearing.
You know, actually, it's green, man. It's a green shirt. But you know
I'm
what?
surprised it didn't blend in with your background. Then if you have a green screen, you'd have disappeared.
No, I don't. It's one of those things that aren't built into the mic. I meant built into the camera. Just one of those.
See. Very well. I'm sitting in a boiler room, as you can see behind me. There's some pipes on the wall.
Yeah, I see. You sweating?
I like the pipes.
Tokyo, Japan. Good morning. All right.
Oh, wow. Hi, from Tokyo, Japan. Hi, Irene. Hey, Tommy, what's up? Wow, Japan. That's cool as hell.
Yeah. What time is it there in Japan, Irene? I'm curious. It's about 9:13 here.
It's cooling off here, and another tropical storm as usual in Japan. But
Stay safe. Hopefully
Yeah,
there's
Please.
no tsunamis out
speakers
there.
at all.
Jenny,
So-
do you have yourself put together yet?
What?
Are you put together yet?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
It
Well,
says
that's
you're
good.
live on air right behind you, so you're live on air. Come on.
It's 10 a.m. in Japan.
Holy moly.
Damn. That's cool.
I'd like to go to Japan at some point.
Japan's nice. I hear it's really nice in Japan.
Well,
There's good
I
food.
don't know. Well, we have an interesting guest lined up tonight, so let me go ahead and read his. I'm not sure where he's at, but I told him to come on in. I guess he chickened out. What is wrong with these people that don't? They said they want to be on the show, and then they get like. I
Are
said,
you sure they're not backstage?
no.
Yep.
I had a friend that he went to Japan for a while and actually taught English to the children, school children.
Oh,
out there.
really?
Yeah, he lived there for I think 2 or 3 years. We were in a band together for a while.
Huh.
I don't think I would do too good out there. I can't speak a lick of any other language.
Russell says maybe he fell off the edge of the earth.
Well, you know what?
Hello,
I-
Constance.
No, listen to me. I got into it with someone on Facebook today because they said it's like an idiocy, whatever you call it, idiot. Like he's an idiot.
Land
So
of idiocracy,
illiterate. I can't even talk. I got to get a drink.
illiteracy, or
Illiteracy.
something, or literacy.
I don't know.
We got ghosted. Gary says.
No, he's coming. He's coming. He's coming. He's
sure?
coming, guys. He's coming. He's coming. Yeah, he said he was coming. But let me just talk to you about a little bit about the little dude. The little dude. Anyways, he runs the Flat Earth Archive page and has a band called You Like This Society Grudge. So that's something. And he's had the page since 2018, which contains a variety of examples and presentations of experiments that debunk the modern heliocentric model and globe model Earth. Okay, so he believes that the Earth is flat, and we're going to discuss some of this with him. And he's going to talk about the history of NASA and examples of fraud.
Oh,
So
really?
we're going to
So Jenny,
discuss
are the other planets flat too, or are they round?
Well, I believe the Earth is a sphere, so we'll see. And he's going to talk about other stuff, like he's going to only talk about the vaccine too, different vaccines and why they're pretty bad. So this should be an interesting show. So,
Well, yeah. I mean, we got red flagged. Well, I got red flagged last week for saying the C word. So be careful before you say that.
What C word are you talking about?
You know what I'm
Oh,
talking
geez.
about.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, don't say it, because then we'll get red flagged.
Yeah.
What do you mean? C? Oh, come on. That's, you know what, they're COVID stuff. Sorry, but it's all coming out. It's all over the internet, so it's all coming out.
So it must be real. Must be true if you read it on the internet.
No, it's just coming out. So it's interesting. So, but he should be joining us shortly, I hope, because I sent him a link.
Well, let me ask you this: Do you think the Earth is flat? I sure as hell don't. I think it's round. To be honest with you.
No, there he is. I think he's here. Well, we're going to find out what he thinks in just a second. So let me go ahead and bring him on. So it should be a good show. I swear to God, there's somebody out there. I swear there's a gremlin. Well, how do you do, sir? Welcome to Chasing Prophecy, Mike.
Hey, Mike. Welcome.
Hey, Mike.
Torture Tuesday,
pal?
buddy. Torture Tuesday.
Yeah,
It's
welcome
really
to
a
Torture
Torture Tuesday, so I just want you to know that because it is. There's somebody in my studio that's messing up with everything. So,
The
well, Mike.
grinds are real.
So we were just talking. We were asking each other if we think the Earth is flat. So why don't you give us your take on the situation?
I guess if I was going to give a reason that I strongly think that it's flat is because, well, let me start over. I would say that I no longer buy into modern heliocentrism, which is essentially the modern model that talks about the Earth rotating and orbiting around the sun. And I don't believe that the globe model Earth exists. The primary reason for that is that thanks to modern technology, high-powered lasers, high precision gyroscopes, high altitude footage from weather balloons, drones, airplanes, every type of technology that we as the common man can get a hold of. When we test the convexity of the Earth's surface, because we know how much it drops. Anyone can Google an Earth curvature calculator and type in a certain amount of miles, and it's going to give you the rate of drop. It has to drop within that amount if it's going to be a spheroid of 24,901 miles in circumference. And I've seen probably to date at least 60 independent experiments taking place on all different continents of the Earth from all different individuals, whether organizations or just independent researchers. I've even seen a husband and wife conduct an experiment over a body of water about 7 miles away with some high-powered lights. Every single one of these experiments always demonstrates that the necessary curvature of the globe model Earth doesn't exist. And when you ask for their best experiments, saying, well, what can I do as a common man? How can I test the surface of the Earth? Show me that it's a ball. They're going to say, well, check out Eratosthenes. 2,000 years ago, he hired a man to walk from Cyan to Alexandria in Egypt, and he was able to see that the Earth was a ball by that measurement that he took. But here's the thing. That exact measurement works if the sun is localized and closer. It doesn't prove the Earth's a ball. Can it prove the Earth is a ball? Yeah, if you make the sun millions of times larger than the Earth, you put it out 93 million miles away, yeah, then the light rays coming in parallel can show that it's a ball. But it can equally show that we have a smaller sun than the surface of the Earth, and it's localized. And that same experiment will prove the same thing. Or they'll tell you, go look at boats going over the curve. They disappear bottom up because the Earth is a ball. But the problem is we have high-powered zoom lenses at this point in time. And anyone can take one of those and take time-lapse footage of a boat 10 miles, 15 miles out to sea. And it's not disappearing a hole first. You can see it dissipate through the haze of the atmosphere. It doesn't disappear hole first. Not only that, it's visible for miles and miles and miles beyond when it should have dipped behind the imaginary curvature of the Earth. The only two experiments I've ever, sorry if I'm rambling, but
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Go for it.
The only two experiments that I viewed that proved the globe model Earth that I thought were impressive was one put out by Discovery Channel where they took a laser out on a boat. It's narrated by Stephen Hawking, and they show the curvature of the Earth. The problem is that since that time, I've seen tenfold that amount of experiments conducted by other people where they can put that laser 6 inches above the water, shoot it out more miles than they went. I think they went about 3 miles, they said. They weren't even very specific in their experiment. It's pretty ridiculous. And people have debunked that over and over and over using the same lasers, the same method that they used. Why is everyone else coming up with a different answer? And the other one was National Geographic did one where they took a boat out on the water and they had a little flag with like stripes on it. Mm-hmm. And they took it out a few miles. Again, not very specific. You think they'd be like, we are this many nautical miles out from shore. That's the good experiments I watch show that. They don't do that. They go, look, it's disappearing because the curvature of the Earth, and they're saying like a line disappeared on the flag that they're holding out over the water. The problem is it's really stupid because you can see the water line behind it above the flag, which shows you that the Earth isn't dipping, first off. And there's a whole sorry, I lost my train of thought. Go on to something else. Sorry, I totally rambled. But yeah, those are some of the reasons. I could go on, but I mean, yeah.
Well, I was in the United States Navy, and I spent 3 years and 3 years and 4 months out at sea. Okay. I didn't fall off the edge. I've been to.
Well, that's because you went
hold
the
on.
wrong direction.
Hold on a second. Now, I've been through the Atlantic. I've been through the Mediterranean. I was in the Indian Ocean. I was in the Black Sea, in the Pacific, and we just kept going. You know, we didn't fall off. So I have a hard time. I don't have a hard time understanding where you're coming from. I do respect what you say because
Well,
you studied it, but I'm sorry, but I never fell off. the
Sean,
road.
Oh, are you saying like that? Okay, can I show you one visual example? Because I
yes,
need to
go
clear
right
this
ahead.
up.
I want to see this.
Let me show you something real quick. It's gonna take me 1 second
That's
here.
okay. Well, you know who else believed in the Earth was flat? Was Adolf Hitler.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Let me see how that
Yes,
worked out.
he believed. Yes, he believed in it. A lot of people believe that Antarctica, there's something over there, and there's a couple movies and there's a series that I forget which one it was. It was a paper. Remember the paperclip guys back in the
Operation Paperclip.
yeah Operation Paperclip. I can't remember the name of the series. It's on Amazon.
Is my
Prime.
screen sharing? You guys see an image?
sir.
Yeah, let me just get it on there for you. Wait a minute. Why isn't it doing it?
Yeah, Operation Paperclip, when they took all those Nazi scientists that should have been imprisoned and put to death, but instead they gave them cushy jobs at NASA, like Werner von Braun, who was experimenting on children.
Yes. That was
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, that guy's trash.
So what am I looking at here?
So
Like-
I'm going to start off and say that this right here is not flat Earth.
It's a sphere.
So let me show you one other thing real quick. Why is this? I was trying to practice this earlier so I'd have it down. Can you still see my screen fine? Did the picture
Yes.
change?
Huh?
Yeah,
It did change?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that's not flat Earth. This is not flat Earth. What this is the heliocentric model putting a flat flying Earth in space. That's not what anyone who believes in this model actually believes. Is it something like this? Is it something like this? Is it something like this or this? You know, I'm not exactly sure. But I can tell you that the heliocentric model fails like miserably. Am I back to being on regular screen? Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with this program very well.
Yes,
so
you're
I'm
back
trying to-
on.
I'm trying to learn as I go. I've never used it before.
You're doing wonderful. You want to take
Yeah,
over my
so
job?
can I explain how seasons? Because I hear what you're saying about not falling off the edge. Because people have this like a stereotype of the model, and can I tell you that I absolutely do not hold to a specific model at this point? I can show you a few maps that I think are good renditions of where we live. But as of this point with the Antarctic Treaty, you and I can't go past the 60th South parallel independently to really verify anything.
Yeah.
But can I show you a few historical maps that and actually modern maps that I think, you know, might point this out a little bit better and how the seasons kind of work? Because it sounds nonsensical. I get it, but it's only because we've only been taught one model really ever. You know, we've only been taught one model, and most people don't realize that before the advent of NASA, there was quite a debate on even modern cosmology, whether the Earth was flat or not. NASA said they went to the moon, so that evidently proved it, and the debate really dropped off. And the advent of television and the way information can be spread and the way textbooks are printed, the information spread really quick. But
Well, why do they have such a long treaty? I mean, what's the purpose of that? Why?
yeah, why? Okay, so different tangent then, if you don't mind. So
No, not at
Admiral
all.
Richard Byrd did some expeditions. In fact, I had that pulled up too. So Admiral Richard Byrd did expeditions in 1928, 1930, 1934, 1939, and 1940 for the U.S. government. And that was the first guy to really explore Antarctica with airplanes. He gave a couple of really interesting interviews, but it's interesting. Shortly after that, in 1958, NASA was formed, and in 1959 they signed that Antarctic Treaty with 12 nations. It's now up to 55 nations, but not one of us has the right to go down there and explore. You could take a vacation down there to sanctioned areas, but you can't just freely go down there. So I don't hold to a specific model at this point. Honestly, I'm still exploring, but modern heliocentrism is just a farce for so many reasons. It's ridiculous. If you guys want to talk about something, I'm going to try to pull something else up.
What about like telescopes and satellites that rotate around the Earth and take pictures of it? Like, how do you prove that that's false?
So satellites, another big topic. That's a good one, though.
I figured a lot of people were probably wondering the same thing. So
yeah, it's the same questions I had when I started exploring this stuff. You got to answer all these things. You want to put everything to the hardest test you can. So with satellites, it's really interesting that, first off, I want to point out that when you think of GPS and you go, well, we have satellites, that's why we can find our position all over the Earth. Well, in actuality, that's just using radio frequency waves and triangulation. They used that in the 1940s with Decca navigation systems and also LORAN. These were military programs, and this was before satellites even existed, if you believe in such things. But, they had this type of technology prior to, let's say, satellites. Now, the big problem I have always is going to go back to the main crux of this entire subject, which is the fact that the necessary curvature of the globe model Earth absolutely cannot be found. And every time we test for it, it doesn't exist. Or I should say, honestly test for it, it doesn't exist. And I could show you, if you go to my page, on Facebook called Flat Earth Archive, I've got at least 20 experiments right there. I could triple that easily. I just picked some good ones.
Why would they hide such a thing? Like, why would they?
Well, let me finish satellites real fast. So the way, if you really look it up, how all our internet travels the world, 99% of it, at least that's the figure about 2 years ago. They might have changed it to, let's say, 98% now. I don't know if they did or not, but I haven't looked it up in a bit, is provided by undersea cables. It is not done by satellites. We spend all these billions and billions of dollars, but your cell phone loses signal in an open field because it's not near a tower. Our cell phones don't get direct signal from satellites. And the one argument people always give me that I think is a valid argument, you could say, well, what about those satellite specific hiking, go way out in the wilderness things that pick up the satellite when I go in the wilderness? Well, can I prove that that's not picking up a satellite? No, but I will say that the people that own those frequencies are specific government agencies, and when you purchase one of those units, you have to be in a distinct area for it to work. So is it a satellite? Well, it's kind of hard to believe satellites are orbiting when the globe model Earth is a farce, but we can easily explain all of communication without the use of satellites. Absolutely. If you blew up every satellite in the world, we could still have this exact same conversation thanks to towers, fiber optic cables, and when it's worldwide, big undersea cables. Just Google undersea cable. There's a treaty over those cables. You cannot F with those cables. If you do, you're dusted. Again, like the Antarctic Treaty, there's a big treaty over these undersea cables as well. Why would they lie? That's a big subject. Does someone else want to? I don't want to take up all the time if you guys don't want.
Jason, what do you think of all this? You're too quiet.
I haven't heard of undersea cables before, but that might be something I'm going to look into.
I've heard about them, Jay. I have.
There's a question for you.
I could pull it up right now on Google.
Tommy Miller got a question.
That's a question I had earlier. I was thinking about.
Does Mike think that all planets are flat or just Earth?
I don't believe in planets. So I don't believe any of the lights above us are terra firma. I don't think it's anything we could land on. We clearly didn't go to the moon. We haven't been there since 1972. every other area of technology has advanced, and we don't even have one freaking live stream camera on the moon, but they allegedly streamed footage in 1969. Do you know how big of a dish they would have to send a signal 240,000 miles through radiation back to the Earth, sending video? And in 2022, we don't have one live stream camera on the moon. I mean, I guess sounds real.
So you don't think no one went to the moon just in that 1972?
No, we didn't go to the moon.
So there
And
was all like
again-
a backdrop from Hollywood set.
Well, the stuff from Apollo 11, you can literally see the backdrop like they used to use for foreground and background, like the old studio props. You should go watch footage of the lunar rover on the moon. Just pull it up independently. Watch the guy in the car. Look at his arm as he's holding the camera. His arm dude, it's a dummy. It's like,
Okay.
it's clear, yeah.
Yeah, well, you're not the only one that feels that way. Like Mike Barra, he you probably heard of him from Ancient Aliens, but he doesn't believe that anybody went to the moon. What about now? Didn't they just want to send an orbit up to the moon, and it was canceled just this past week?
Yeah, Artemis.
Yeah.
You know how much that's projected to cost us?
A lot.
$94 billion. They're
That's probably why we don't have any
robbing
people
us blind. They're
See, why would they make why would they have such a farce? Why would they make up such a story?
Okay, so you want to...
What would they gain from doing such a thing? I mean, it's just...
Have you guys heard of Jack Parsons,
No.
founder of Jet Propulsion Laboratories, main founder with Werner von Braun of NASA? Never?
No.
Jack Parsons. He's the founder of Jet Propulsion Laboratories. Well, anyways, I just want to use him as a quick example. You can Google him. He's like one of the primary dudes behind the original rocket technology and everything for NASA. But that guy, let me just say, does this sound weird to you? If a guy believed he could have sex magic orgies and that they could produce change in the world through wild orgies and dark magic following.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you hear it all the
Aleister
time about
Crowley.
these people doing that.
Yeah,
Well,
like following the likes of him. Yeah.
A lot of
So-
these celebrities, they do all that stuff too.
Yeah. So that's one of the founders of NASA right there. So can we just put some of the minds, know who else was influential with those dudes? Walt Disney, Werner von Braun. Dude, these guys are I mean, I like Walt. And
So you believe in you think that this whole thing is leading up to the new world order?
No, I mean, if anything, we're probably kind of in it, but I mean,
Well, that's what I mean. Do you think they're a part of this?
well, I mean, they lie for let me just cut to the chase on the line. Why do they lie? Obviously, you can get a whole bunch of money. They produce things. Listen, they hire people. They build rockets. They build all this equipment. They have to show the money's going somewhere. I'm not saying they just say all this stuff and then pocket all the money. They build stuff and hire people, but they're just not going anywhere with this stuff. They're launching it into the sea. And then there's the other biblical part. Because we're talking about Jack Parsons and some of his weird beliefs and his deviant activity and everything. Some of these dudes, just like I believe there's a creator, just like I believe the scriptures are from God, there are dudes who equally believe that Lucifer is the bringer of light, and they have a role in this world, and they've been given power for a season, and they do some weird shit like have their pedophile islands. And things of that nature, which I think we're all pretty aware of as of recent. I think that's been made pretty clear. So some of these weirdos, they don't like that there's a God, and in fact, they hate him. And when you can hide the true creation, because here's the thing, if you're not out there, this little tiny speck spinning out in space and this and that, if suddenly you did believe, look at this image behind me. I'm not saying this is what it is, but let's just play pretend here. Let's say that we are on a massive stationary plane and the celestial bodies are just lights above us. Let's just say that that's true. would that not make you start wondering how did it all get here? It's a lot easier to explain away with just billions and trillions of years exploding, and then the forces of nature and gravity pulling together stardust, which ultimately created water, which created single-celled life and animals and people. Maybe this exploding stardust
I
didn't.
got a question for you.
Yeah.
So how do planes fly around the world?
Oh,
That's
circumnavigation. Yeah, that's a really good one. I was going to go into the maps, actually. Let me share this screen right here. I'm going to share it real quick. I got some weird ad on the bottom of this thing. It's not letting me share anymore. It's really hard to explain without a visual aid. So imagine a round coffee table. I'll do the best I can verbally. Imagine a round coffee table, right? And you're looking straight down on it. And let's say that that's the Earth. And dead center of the round coffee table. Oh, there it is. This is going to make it way easier. All right. Do you guys see the map?
Nope.
No, sir.
You guys see the map now?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys see it? Okay. So this is the Gleason's map. This is let's start with this map right here. So say this, can you see my mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the North Pole right here, right?
Mhm.
So that's what it would be. Out here would be Antarctica, the south, correct? So here's what would happen. If you're going east or west, you're traveling right back around where you started from. It's like if you ran around your block and came back to where you began, would you think that your neighborhood is a sphere? No, you can obviously run back around to where you came from. So when we have our devices flying, they're tuned to magnetic north, essentially. Let me show you this other map. This is a map that they used in 1945 prior to NASA for a war strategy. And look at it. It seems to match that Gleason's map from the 1800s, who was a proponent that the Earth was a stationary plane. Even when we look at things like the Mercator map here, we've all seen this on the Weather Channel. What's really interesting is this is a very accurate map, even though it's not a sphere, right? It's a very accurate map in this general area, but the further south you go, it diverges. And down here on the bottom, this is where Antarctica would be. And it's interesting that it covers the whole bottom, just like one of these flat Earth maps would. This is called the azimuthal equidistant projection. Same thing. You have Antarctica on the south. So if I leave the coast of say, the United States over here, and I want to go to Europe, I just cruise right on over. I cruise right on back. I want to go down to South America. I go straight down. I go straight back. What most people don't realize is a globe model and a geocentric model work identically when it comes to the northern hemisphere. They only start to diverge once you get to the southern hemisphere. It's the same thing with seasons. Seasons are also like, you can demonstrate seasons the same way. So if you look at this right here, because most people think, well, how would you explain? Oh, it's not working. I'll try to. Can you guys see the picture that's on? Do you see a different?
No, we lost it right now.
Yeah. So I'll try to get back to it. But did you
does,
kind of see what I mean by circumnavigation on that, though?
Definitely, I can
how
see
do
where
you-
you're coming from.
How would you explain the sun rising in the east and setting in the west if it's a flat Earth?
It's the same thing. So let me. I wish I was better with this program because I could pull it up much easier. So let me try this one thing real quick.
I definitely can see where you're coming from. If you look at all the diagrams and everything, and how it's so hard not to believe, but people might think you're a little wacko if you believe it. Though.
Yeah.
What's
I
your
get that,
opinion,
but-
Jenny?
but-
What do you
I don't
think?
know.
When you look at a map, it's on a piece of paper. So
Yes.
you're not going to see the globe. Okay, that's all. To me personally, that's what I see. That they took a picture and the picture of the world and put it on one big piece of paper. So
Yeah, I can see that too. But the more if you do research on it, I mean, I've done a lot of research on the topic because I was thinking of writing something about it. I can see that though. It just, if you go back to,
Tommy got a good question.
yeah, and he's totally right. Why don't you go ahead and read that for us?
I may
Oh, those
have
are
missed.
comments right there. I may have misunderstood, but do you think that other planets and moon are not actually real, or just lights in the sky? Well, I absolutely believe they're real. As far as the material that they make up, I'm not going to claim to fully understand that. Going into how the phases of the moon operates, kind of a fun subject that we could definitely talk about, because there's examples using the moon. In fact, that's what brought me to the flat Earth, is some major holes in the heliocentric model regarding the phases of the moon and its location. But do you guys see the picture with the light?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see, a lot of people think, well, if the sun's right here, you see this upper. Hold on, let me see if I can get on. So this upper picture right here, people think, oh, the sun's just going to illuminate the whole Earth, because we've been taught this model where the sun's massively huge. Well, the sun is large, it's powerful, but the Earth is massive in a geocentric model. So if you see on the bottom here, this little light can only illuminate an area. And if you go to my Flat Earth Archive page, I have a time-lapse video. I didn't create it, but I just archived it. Some of my videos are on there, but it shows you time-lapse footage of all different things involving the sun, demonstrating that the heliocentric model doesn't operate, and we can see that the sun is localized and it's disappearing from our view due to perspective and atmosphere. You can't see forever through the atmosphere. That's number one. Even if the most powerful lens on Earth can't see looking straight across the plane of the Earth, forever. It runs into atmosphere, and the Earth is massive. So no matter the size of lens, we just don't have the capability to see forever. We can see pretty far, but not forever. Unless you buy into heliocentrism and they tell you you're looking back in time, trillions of years to exploding galaxies and everything. I mean, then I guess but yeah.
There you go.
That is like, wow. So Mike,
Yeah.
what was the whole situation that actually got you into, studying what you're studying? How did it start?
So, for me, it was really weird. I was just driving to work one day on like a Friday, and I had a weird thought in my head about the phase of the moon, which for no reason, it was just like on my mind, and it's not even a subject I was really interested in. And so I was kind of praying about it, and I was like, and I went home that weekend, and for some reason, I just got this mind where if something catches my attention, like I kind of like pour into it or like obsess with it a little bit for a chunk of time. So like I went home and I watched every video on the phases of the moon that I could find, little kids demonstrations all the way up to like, NASA models and everything. And I was like, there are some major something's just not making sense about a couple things. And then when I drove to work Monday morning, one of the things that was one of my questions was staring me right in the face in the sky, which was there was a moon, full moon, probably at 98, 99% illumination in the sky simultaneously with the sun. But if you look at the heliocentric model, for a full moon to exist, it has to be 180 degrees around the globe model Earth from the sun. They're like hands on a clock in the heliocentric model. Every single phase is like hands on a clock around the Earth. So if you're thinking of billiard balls, they'd be 180 degrees around each ball from each other, essentially. But there they were in my narrow vision from Fallbrook, California, and both celestial bodies are in my view. Now, since that time, I learned a lot more, and I've documented that phenomena. We see it all the time. I've recorded it at 99% illumination. I've done it for a few years now. I've probably got 10 really good shots of it. I got the super wolf moon in 2019 with the sun. But anyways, that's what triggered me. And then also this dude, Rob Skiba, that I was listening to messages about scripture and stuff to do with the Nephilim and the fallen angels. If you guys know much about that,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that early stuff. And so it was unrelated to that subject. And then he had a subject right after that question that said, like, it was titled Pythagoras and Eratosthenes have like the flat earth trump card or something like that. And I was like, what on earth is this dude talking about? And I'd never heard of flat earth or anything, but I just had that weird experience with the moon. And then I watched this guy breaking down like, hey, this is the formula for the rate of drop on the earth. Look at these examples, their distances, look at how much drop should exist. And then that just got the ball rolling. And I've been studying it since 2017, like super in depth, not like a little bit. And I didn't talk to anyone about it for a while because I wanted to make sure where I stood. I didn't want to jump into something. Like I said, I don't ascribe to everything that falls under flat earth. I think a lot of people say a lot of stupid things on both sides, honestly. I'm just here to figure it out, but the globe doesn't exist. In all honesty, it doesn't exist. And there's like...
Well, what are those snow globes for?
So...
Well, you know, the only way we're going to find out if it's round is when we die and our spirit goes up, and then we can check it out. You know what I mean? That's the only way I'm going to look at that for the moon. Because personally, like I told you before, I respect what you're studying, but I can't see it. Because all I know is, and everybody says we'd be falling off the side of the, falling off if it was flat. And I was around in the Navy, and I've been to all the seas, and I never fell off the face of the earth. So you can't, you can talk all you want, but for me, okay, it's hard for me to even think that. And then that's what, but I do respect what you're doing.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating. I like to learn more about it.
Oh,
I mean, I think you never know. I mean, we have to have an open mind. Just like we said that there's life on other planets. I mean, a lot of people might think there aren't, but I sure
Tommy
do.
has a question. With this theory, where are we at? With this theory, do you think the Earth is stationary, and is it just the sun and the moon that are rotating around the Earth to create day and night and the seasons?
Well, definitely the sun is heavily involved in the seasons for sure. But also our Earth is magnetic, so we know that there's almost waves of magnetism. Interesting fact, like spiders fly using those waves of magnetism. It's interesting, but I don't believe any of that stuff's like fake or whatever. It's all clearly there. The sun gives us the time of day, the moon tells us the time of month, and the stars give us the seasons. It's all a beautiful clock right above our head, orchestrated perfectly, and it stayed the same for every recorded generation. Polaris has never moved, and if they say it's moving a minor amount, and in whatever 1,000 years it'll be displaced by another star, but for all of recorded history it hasn't moved. It's always stayed the same, and that's impossible if the Earth is rotating around the sun 500,000 miles an hour while the sun is on its own trajectory around the galactic center. No, that one's going 500,000 miles an hour around the galactic center. And it's like, if you try to map out all that motion, it can't possibly leave the stars where they are. And if you try to find a model where they map out that motion, you'll never find it. You'll only find Newtonian motions. Go look up any model you want from NASA, from National Geographic. Go look up how Polaris stays in the sky, and you will notice that the sun stays stationary in the center of that model, and the Earth rotates around the sun. But that's not what their model teaches. the sun has to be moving as well. And the other thing I would say about the seas, the reason you can't fall off the edge is because Antarctica surrounds the southernmost point, and Antarctica has the highest elevation of every single continent on Earth. So if it were to be a basin for all the seas, it would really fit that description very well, considering it does have the highest elevation of everywhere. So that's why you wouldn't be able to fall off on most geocentric models.
So
And
you're thinking if they didn't have that Antarctic treaty, then we could definitely find out if it's a globe, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, we can find that out pretty easily now with modern technology. That's very provable. We can demonstrate that the necessary curvature doesn't exist over and over and over and over and over. Those experiments will never stop. They'll never stop coming. They'll never stop building. It's demonstrable fact. And eventually that's going to get out more and more. And the people who started the lie, they're just trying to get out the door before they pass away. So the next generation will really have to deal with the uproar of a lot of it. So,
Well, I mean, let's get into a different topic. I think I'd like to learn more about your thoughts on the vaccines. You said the history of vaccines, and what do you think about all these vaccines?
I think they have very little positive effect. I think they're marketed very well, extremely well, but they don't really deliver what they promise. And I also think they've been falsely heralded as heroes for dispelling a lot of disease in the past. If you don't mind, can I pull up one picture real fast
Sure.
that's
Mhm.
very pivotal to
Go
this
for it.
subject?
Go for it.
So,
I know this is your favorite topic, Jason.
I think it's everybody's favorite topic.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, did you have any pineapple today, Jason?
There's
Oh,
one
we're
right
waiting.
next to me.
Well, I know, but you know.
Pineapples. I got it.
Actually, so we got this device called a Yonana. I don't know if anybody's
Yonana?
heard of it.
Nope.
So you freeze fruit, and the base fruit is a banana, right?
Mhm.
So you put your banana in this, and it's just an appliance. You put your banana in, and then you could throw in like frozen berries. Everything's got to be frozen. You throw in some frozen berries or whatever, and it literally turns it into like an ice cream.
Oh,
So
that
it's all
sounds yummy.
just straight pure fruit. You know,
does
no
sound
added
good.
sugars or garbage, and it's actually really good.
It sounds
there,
it.
no, we got something here.
all right. So here's why I say that they're falsely heralded as heroes. I want to show you this graph. So first off, this side, if you can see my mouse, I hope you can, is showing deaths per 100,000 people. It's starting in the year 1900, and it cruises all the way over to 1963. Now, if you can see over here, the green line, let's just use measles, for example. It's at the top of the chart. Here's measles death rate, starting in 1900, and then you see it completely tapers off, right? You guys can see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So the second line I want to show you is scarlet fever. See how it's all intermingled in here with the green line? It's fairly similar, and then it tapers off, correct?
Mhm.
What's interesting is look how these death rates plummeted, right? And most of the time when we hear why these death rates plummeted, what's one of the biggest answers, or practically the only answer I hear these days, and that's vaccines. They knocked out disease. But look at how much the death rate dropped. The vaccine wasn't even created for measles until 1963, way over here at the end of the graph. But you want to know the ultimate kicker of this graph? It's not measles or whooping cough. It's scarlet fever, that other red line that I showed you with the measles line. Scarlet fever has never had a vaccine manufactured for it. So why on earth did it drop in death rate almost identical to measles for the most part if vaccines were really the answer? The truth is, the real hero, if you want to congratulate someone, you don't need to congratulate your vaccine manufacturer. You need to congratulate your plumber and your garbage man. Because the real thing that defeated disease was advents in modern plumbing and sanitation. Also understanding nutrition, and there were advances in modern medicine that definitely helped. But vaccines was not one of those things. They jumped on the coattails of everything, claimed to be the hero, and they found this way to just print money. Because now, like where I live in California, you can't send your kid even to a private school without having such and such vaccines for any of your kids. It's the law. And if you don't go along with it, then you can't go to school. And if your kid doesn't go to school, then they throw the parents in jail. So that's how it works here in California. In 1986, the Supreme Court made it illegal to hold vaccine manufacturers or doctors liable for injury or death resulting from vaccines. I want you guys to think about any product you can think of: car, fishing rod, instrument, anything you can think of. Can you think of a manufacturer off the top of your head that is free from liability from being sued if one out of every 100,000 or 200,000 of their products injure or even kill someone? And some people would laugh and say, well, vaccines don't kill or injure. Really, if that's the case, why did they set up an entire national court system that only handles vaccine injury claims? Again, think of any product you can think of and think of it has its own isolated court system that only deals with problems because their product either hurt or killed someone, and then hands out millions and millions of dollars every single year in payments to those families who had someone irreversibly changed because of their product. And then you go, well, if they have to hand out these settlements, how is it even profitable? Well, because only a small percentage of those products can really be proven to have actually injured somebody. The early polio vaccines, you know what those did to people? They gave them the SV40 virus. You can look it up. The early batches in the 1950s, you know what that turned into in a lot of people? Leukemia. It's all documented. It's all real. It's all true. You have the manufacturer of the polio vaccine talking about how some of them got contaminated with AIDS because they created it in the kidney of a primate. And they didn't know. They say that they didn't know and it was all accidental. This is all documented. It sounds like crazy, wacko stuff, but all this can be...
Yeah, hold on for 1 second, Mike. Well, look at all the lives that some of these vaccines saved. I mean, a lot of these people could have been crippled from polio. What do you say about that?
Well, actually, recently there was an outbreak in Africa of polio because of the oral polio vaccine. Google it. Look up oral polio vaccine outbreak or polio outbreak.
Was that because it was a live virus? I mean, live vaccine?
I'm not too knowledgeable on the oral polio vaccine, but I do know that it's well documented that it caused an outbreak of polio. Did they really help people? Did they save people? It was more of a placebo. And when I was a kid, when they were handing out Ritalin to kids, sticking them on meth like candy, they were also giving us mercury, and it was called thimerosal. It was in the MMR vaccine that I would have received. And you know what the courts did? They took that out. They took that out of the vaccine. And you know what they told the manufacturers about all the doses that still had it in it? Even though they said, hey, this might be able to injure kids, they got to use up all those few million batches on kids and then just not make it with it anymore. It's just, and by the way, they used to, I don't know if they still do it this way, but they used to pay a small tax out of every vaccine they manufactured to that fund, knowing ahead of time that people would be injured or killed.
Well, I think your views on the mRNA vaccine, I think you're going to say that that's bad too, right? There's a lot of deaths from that.
Yeah, you see all these young people getting myocarditis, and it's never related to the vaccine. They're dropping dead from heart problems. There's been a spike in that, but it's clearly nothing to do with the vaccine. So.
Well, Sean, what are your thoughts on all this? You're quiet.
I expressed my thoughts earlier, but you know, when it comes to the vaccines, I don't have a clue. Okay, to be honest with you, what they do, what they don't do. Um, I'm still trying to wrap my head around what you explained to us. How
About the
Earth is
flat
being
Earth.
flat. Yeah, that's the one. And I'm going to go do my research. Oh, question. That's why I wanted to ask you. I just popped into my head. When you see pictures of Earth, they're round.
Yeah, but
When
they
they-
could be still like a sphere, though. I mean, spheres are round.
Yeah,
Right?
and the damn Earth in the
I
pictures
think
are
Earth
this way.
Sure.
You
Let
know
me
what I
show.
mean?
There's about 1 billion examples I could use, but I think this one's pretty good. The Lake Tahoe one's even better, but let me just show you. I'm gonna
Do you
pull
think
up-
the moon is round?
Yeah, it's definitely round. I don't know if it's a spheroid. Like I said, I think it's more of a
Is the sun round?
yeah, we can visibly see that they're round,
But
but are
the
you
Earth
meaning
is
round
not.
or spherical? Because round and spherical are two different things.
But okay, but the sun is round, the moon is
Right.
round, but Earth is not. It's
Here
flat.
it is.
Well, that would mean the
Um,
other planets have to be flat then too.
Well,
right?
yeah, but think about this. If we're judging the Earth by what we see in the sky alone, then we'd have to say that there's no such thing as animals or plants or people because we don't see any of that in the sky either. Why can't the Earth be an exclusively unique place?
How do you know? How do you know there's no animals or plants on Venus, Mars, Jupiter,
Well,
Saturn?
because we know it is, and they can't live
Well,
there.
if you show it to me,
if
then I will look at it.
what if they found a living organism on one of those planets? Okay.
They found rodents on Mars. Did you ever see that mistake picture? Someone was combing through the
Is it a beaver or is it a rodent like a mouse?
It's like some sort of like rock squirrel or something.
Or is
'Cause
it
you
like
know when
a
you're taking
rat?
pictures of Devon Island and okay, you guys see that picture?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're asking about the pictures of its round. These are both taken actually
Looks like a
technically. Okay, so this is an image from NASA at 775,000 feet. Okay. The image below it is from a weather balloon at roughly between 100 and 120,000 feet. You see the noticeable difference in their image? See, there's lenses like GoPros that have a what's called a wide angle or fisheye lens that adds that curve. But again, if you or I were to take, the best of the equipment that we have at our disposal, the highest being outside of an amateur rocket would be sending up a weather balloon. They go 100 to 120,000 feet high, some even 130,000 feet. And when you look out, the amount of curve should be drastic. Think of all the dudes who have said you can see boats going over the curve. Bill Nye said it. Neil deGrasse Tyson said it. They said that's one of the ways you can tell the Earth is a ball. You're standing on the beach and you're saying you can visibly see the curve of a boat dropping behind that curve, and you should. You should see it disappear about
Okay, wait a minute.
5
Let's
miles.
just back up a little bit. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to picture this in my head. Okay, you're on a boat. You come to the end, the edge of the flat Earth.
Well, you'd be in Antarctica at that point, right?
Well, what's beyond Antarctica? That's another motive. Why would they lie?
What is that? Narnia.
If you listen to Richard Byrd's interview, he talks about Antarctica and he explored it before NASA. And he said that there was vast resources over there. He talks about an area like the size of the United States that's full of, they believe, minerals and oil. But now
There's
we're
a good
taught
question in the comments here.
Yes, there is a good question.
Okay.
There's if the Earth
don't
was
see that.
flat, would meteors hit the underneath of the Earth as well as the surface?
So,
Good question.
well, how would I put this? So, like I said, I don't ascribe to a specific model. So, what is the underneath? I mean,
We
how
don't
deep
know,
does
right?
it go? Where does it begin? Is there an edge? Some people theorize it's an infinite plane. I don't personally think it is, but it doesn't mean that it's not. We can't really test that. It's just a thought, right? So, sorry, what was the question again?
If
If the Earth was
would-
flat, would meteors hit the underneath of the Earth as well as the surface?
No, because that's kind of what we covered in the beginning. Remember, I was showing you like that image of a flat Earth just floating in space. I believe that it's as Scripture says, where the foundations are set upon pillars within the waters, and the firmament divides the waters above from the waters below.
Where's that in the Bible?
It's a few places. So it says it in Psalms. It says it in Genesis. Those are the two primary places you'd want to look at. Talks about the waters above and the waters below in Genesis, and also in one of the Psalms. So I don't believe. Do I believe things like hit the earth? Yeah, but I don't believe in the whole space. I don't believe in heliocentrism. So I don't what everyone's picturing with space and meteors. I have a totally different model in my head, and I know it's hard to get out of that original model because it's all we've been shown, so it's all we can picture. But when you start exploring other models, oh man, what was I gonna say? What, Sean, was it right? Sorry, I
Yeah.
can't say names right now.
That's me. Yeah.
I was going to say, because I really appreciate you saying you do want to look into it, because it's a very interesting subject. But what I would say is that back when I got into this in 2017, it was much easier to find valid resources on this subject matter, like much easier than it is now. They've changed the algorithms. They've deleted channels. They've deleted videos. They've done all the rest.
Why? Why? Why did they delete those videos?
Well, you can see them testifying before Congress, confronting Facebook and Google. You know how Mark Zuckerberg was brought before Congress, and also the people of Google. And that's a good question. Why are these Congress people so concerned? They say flat Earth. They say, what are you going to do about the spread of misinformation? Things like flat Earth, and of course, vaccines and things of that nature. What are you going to do? It is a good question. Why are they so concerned with it? If it's so silly, why delete all these pages? In 2017, in 2018, flat Earth was the highest search subject on Google. 2017, 2018. And then it just dropped off for a bit there, but it's re-rising because it can't go away. It just
Doesn't
now
want to
new
go.
generations picked it up and put it on TikTok. So, I mean, I'm not on there, but
Well, we have to take a little break here.
Yeah, we're going to take a little break.
And we want to thank Carnation for sponsoring our second hour of the show. So thank you, Carnation.
Thank you, Carnation, for
Thank you,
sponsoring.
Carnation. That was beautiful, Sean. Thank you.
Thanks.
You did a good job.
Thanks.
So, Mike, before we let you go, you have a band called Grudge.
Society's Grudge.
And what kind of music do you play?
It's like oi punk. So think of like old school punk, like Sham 69 and like Cockspar and like that kind of stuff. So it's mostly like that. We throw in some old rock and roll though, like so we'll play some Dion and the Belmonts or some like Everly Brothers or like Chuck Berry or something, right? It's more punk rock though.
That's cool. So you still doing that? Because I saw your Facebook page. It was like a while ago.
No, it should be updated now. I mean, we got a few shows in October we're jamming. I just played a cool house show the other day, which was pretty rad. Crazy turnout. But playing like Hemmett's on fire right now in California. But yeah, we're playing there in October. And
That's cool.
yeah,
That's cool.
somewhere else I can't remember, Banning. So yeah, it's fun. I've been doing it since I was a kid. I used to have giant Liberty spiked hair back when I was a crazy homeless punk rocker, like huge. Like if I walked through a doorway, it would like hit the doorway. But yeah. So
Well, that's
I gotta
interesting.
keep it nice though. Yeah.
You got to keep it nice. Now, are those all your kids on Facebook?
Yeah, I got 5 kids.
Wow.
Hi.
How old
Is
are
that from
you?
after all them shows?
Yeah, yeah. So
How
I'm
old are you?
39.
39?
Yep.
39 and 5 kids. Wow.
I started young, man. They're all They're all bigger than me, except one. We got the little peanut who's 5, but the boys, my daughter, all teenagers.
God bless you, son.
That's fun. Do they
Thank
go
you.
see you?
Oh, they live with me.
I mean, do they go watch you play?
Oh, I mean, nah, they hear me jamming all the time in the house, practicing. They heard me play guitar enough. It's like, I mean, they would come to like an all ages show. I'm sure. Oh yeah, that's me on the right there with the big
Looks like you have
spikes.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a good time. I was a little crazier then, so the Lord had to clean me up and
Yeah.
teach me a few things. So
Looks like you had a really good time. Some
Yeah.
of these videos.
yeah, we played a lot of fun shows, a lot of cool bands, and been doing it since I was a kid. So hey,
Well,
you're doing it.
Jason, he had his band too. He plays.
Oh,
He's
nice.
very good at what he does too. Would you like to share that, Jason?
Oh, I've just been playing like yourself. Been playing in bands for since 2007. I'm been taking a little bit of a hiatus the last couple of years though, and
Yeah.
but I was more into like rock, metal, and some acoustic stuff. I like to be well versed, and it was a good time. Did some big things, and it was a very fun part of my life, and you never know, I might get back into a band in the future, but right now I just do a lot of my own recording stuff, and
So you play guitar
collaborating with
then?
others. Yeah, I've been playing guitar.
Yeah,
for
that's cool. And
22
if you're
years.
playing metal, you're probably pretty good, dude.
He's
Yeah,
good.
I've ventured into the
Uh,
7-string era, and all that fun stuff, and just nasty
He's
in
good.
your face kind of stuff. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah,
I guarantee you're better than me at the guitar. I'll tell you.
I might be a little rusty right now. I haven't played much lately.
Just break out the oil can and oil your
Yeah.
fingers.
I used to play for like hours upon hours every day for years. I mean, like if I was laid off from work, I would play all night till 6 in the morning and the sun's coming out. It's like, oh, I better get a couple hours of sleep and wake up and do it all again.
Yeah.
But
But then your fingers build a stamina, but like I've been
Oh,
finding
yeah.
as I get older, man, I'm losing some of that stamina. It's doing the
Yep.
opposite now.
yeah, yeah, I'm 36, so I'm not far behind you. I know what you
Oh.
mean. It's like, you start jamming and it's like, oh man, my hands are hurting.
Yeah, my fingers hurt.
There he is, right
Jeez.
there. There he is.
Oh, nice,
Yeah, I
dude.
think I was down deep.
dude.
That's
Yeah,
what
the
When I
hair.
had long hair, yeah.
Yeah.
I
That
donated
was down
16
by his-
inches
that
2
was
years ago.
swinging it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his hair
windmills.
was down to his ass, man.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
one point, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
rocking.
Time.
Awesome, dude.
You had a good time.
Oh, I loved it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So where can people find you there, Mike?
Oh, that's what I was going to tell you, Sean. Go to my Flat Earth Archive page on Facebook and scroll through. There's about 60 videos on all different topics, different experiments. So it's Flat Earth Archive on Facebook.
Okay.
And I've tried to catalog not nearly even a small percentage of what I've seen, but stuff that I feel is like pretty solid. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Look at that picture of him, man.
Yeah.
Hey.
Those are cool.
Days.
Those are really
That's
cool.
a nice guitar.
Thanks.
Oh,
That's
you
my
got-
LTD. I still have it. I'm a more of a PRS guy. I got
That's
a bunch
cool.
of PRSs, some Ibanez.
Yeah.
I got a couple LTDs. And
That's
I got a
rad,
whole
dude.
music store's worth of stuff.
Oh, that's exciting stuff.
Amp heads and cabs all over the place.
Yeah.
Just collecting dust right now.
Yeah. I got a little pile of that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Mike, it was nice to see have
Nice seeing you, Mike.
Yeah,
Take
nice
care.
You
meeting
have
you,
a
Mike.
great time on the edge of the
Yeah. God bless you guys. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one, brother.
That was really cool.
That was interesting. It was better than the other dude.
Yeah.
Look
The
at
other
Jenny
dude we had.
tearing it up with the background music.
Well, I'm gonna start doing that now. Hey,
Oh
Jason.
my God, that was almost 10 years ago.
I love this picture. Do
was
you
a good
ever could you play for us? I mean, one of these nights, can you have your guitar and play for us so we can all hear you?
I don't know. Maybe I better brush up on that first.
There you go. Brush up on it.
Yeah, I've
That's
been
a
taking
cool
a little bit of a
picture.
break.
Well, we all need
But when
a
you do
break.
something, 110% for a very long time, everybody needs a break from whatever they're doing, and then
Yeah,
come
I need a
back to it
break
later on.
from everything lately
Yeah.
for this.
I mean, I've been playing since I was 12, and I'm 36. You know, so that's what 24
Well, I
years.
still
or
have
something.
my guitar. I haven't picked it up.
You need some
Yeah,
lessons.
you two can jam out, man. I'll sing.
Yeah, we'll jam out here on StreamYard. We'll get a song put together, and we'll just.
Yeah, I
And
have.
hopefully the latency is not too bad.
Well, you know what? I don't know why this is doing this, and I'm really getting agitated. So I think I'm going to call StreamYards tomorrow and complain. There's no reason why the video shut off. No, why? Is there something wrong with it? I mean, we've been using it for how long now, and it hasn't shut off. So why did it shut off today?
Can I be honest with you? Because you mentioned that C word. I'm telling you.
But did it
Telling
shut
you.
off for you guys, or was it just for me?
It was just you. We were here.
I don't understand. And my son, he's a tech guy. We have the best internet because he has to. He works at home. We have the highest gig. I don't understand. I don't get it. I mean, this happens. Well, I'm talking about in the intro. Why did the video shut off?
And
Operator error.
you know, whenever I start my show at 11 o'clock and they play the intro on that, it breaks up all the time.
Well,
All
let's
the time.
do an experiment. We're going to play it right now to see if it's just not something that happens in the
You're going
beginning.
to confuse everybody. Don't be doing that.
Are you kidding me? They're not going to be confused. If they're watching, they're not going to be confused. And if they're confused, then they need to go watch.
They have to start. If they're confused,
We're
they gotta
starting the
come on
show
my
all over again for the third time tonight.
No, we're not.
no.
We're going to see. I'm just going to fast forward, and I just want to see if it shuts off. So we are not going live right now. We just want to see if the
We are
video.
live.
We are live.
Well, you know what I mean. I'm not. We just want to see if it works.
Operators are standing by.
Welcome to Chasing Prophecy Radio, where we discuss the unidentified.
Why
So you
does
want-
it do that? What's going on with that?
So you wanted to hear my guitar there? You just heard it.
No, if you want to hear your guitar, all you have to do is go like
That was my
this.
guitar.
Well, listen, I have it on here too.
Oh,
but
no, don't be pulling
there's-
nothing over.
There's no reason why. Here.
Ah, the
There's
original.
Jason.
Yeah, the original.
Yeah, I have that on here too. So
And then
we
I
can
had to
play it.
revamp it
No, I think
like
it's
3 times for guests.
no. But why is it doing that with the video? Should I have
I don't
Joe should we delete it and do it again on here? Is there
I don't
could
know
it
why
be
it doesn't.
corrupted?
I
You
don't
might
have
have to
a
ask
clue.
the producers.
I think last week we didn't have no problem. I think it played all the way through.
No, it didn't. It did the same thing last week.
Did it?
Yeah. So how do you like my studio, guys?
I like it. It's a real one. It's not a
It's
green
a real
screen.
studio. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not. It's
yeah,
my.
live
It's
on
my.
air.
see
I'm in the
my,
boiler room right now, so
Well, yeah, this is my lives here in the boiler room. This is what do you call this, Jason?
Oh wait, Tommy got something
soundproofing.
here.
Yeah, I
Well,
see that.
So
Okay,
did
wait
the-
a minute. I gotta get him on here because I gotta see him. Okay, what is he saying?
Tommy
did they-
says,
Go ahead.
"You want me to
Go
get
ahead,
it, Sean?
Jay.
You want me to get it? Okay."
Go ahead, buddy.
Tommy would like to know, so did the guest convince anyone tonight? I feel
Oh,
more
I'm
confused about
convinced.
his theory now than before I heard his explanation.
Tommy?
I'm right there with you, Tom.
I'm right there
Tommy?
too. Yeah,
Tommy?
I still...
I think the
I'm-
Earth is flat.
No, you don't, Jenny.
No,
I
you
think
don't.
it's a sphere. No, I've done a lot of research on this, and I've watched some documentaries about Hitler, and he was convinced, and he got his ship, and he had all his men, and he was going to Antarctica to prove it, and then
Well, there's something else too. When they do these tests and everything and they're shooting lasers out for miles, wouldn't that all like depend on location as well? Like, you got mountains or, sea levels might be different because of whatever. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a scientist, obviously, but
well, I'm not a scientist.
I mean, there could be so many inaccuracies in that, I feel like.
Of course, there's a lot of inaccuracies in the tests that they do. There has to be. Not one test. I'll give you an example. My son, when he was at Ohio State, he did so many damn tests that were supposed to work, but they never happened. And so it's like. I
Well,
can't
they're gonna put out whatever they want you to see.
Right.
I mean, that's like all these things going on the news, how they what do you call that? Where they take it out,
Redacted.
redacted everything, even with the UFO files, they took everything out. So you can they'll let you see what you want to see, and then if you talk too much of it, you disappear.
Well, so Jen, you're going to study this
I
about
already studied it. I read up on it.
Well, I
watched videos
understand
on
you,
it.
but see, here's my question: the people that you read the books, you saw the videos. Where did they get their information from?
Because they read up on it. Okay, why
And then-
why is there a treaty saying you can't go?
I never heard
Why
of
are they?
it.
What are they hiding?
God only knows what. No, they think they found oil up there too. But
Oil?
here's my thing: when somebody comes out with a specific, situation, and then I ask, well, where did they get their information from? What did they do? Read a book, read a paper,
Mm-hmm.
and then go, look at all the ufologists, right? I mean, you got your your guy who does and looks for UFOs, and then we ask him, well, where'd you get your information from? Well, I got it from this guy, and this guy. So my question is, where did these guys actually get their information?
Well, here's a question. Why can't you see Polaris if you're below the equator? If it's flat Earth, you should be able to see it, right?
Correct.
I don't know.
But again, did he not say that Polaris doesn't exist? Did
Yeah,
he
but
say that?
you
Well, he
know,
also said planets
we had
don't
another
exist.
guy on here too, and he was convinced the Earth was flat.
Oh my God, we couldn't. I remember him because we could. In fact, I thought who it was. We couldn't get a word in, Jenny. We could not get a word in. He just kept on going.
Well,
At least Mike had the decency to let us speak. You know what I mean?
well, now John Venturi. I wish he was on the show because I'd like to discuss this with him to see what his views are on
So
it.
what does that mean for all the other planets then? Are they round? Are they spherical? Are they globe shaped? Are they flat? Like what? Like rings of Saturn, they're going around something.
Yeah.
So that would tell me like Saturn's round, right?
And say like, okay, what you just said about Saturn, Jay. Then is Saturn the only round planet out there in the universe?
I don't know.
If you're listening tonight, you're in the chat somewhere, and who knows where, or if you're on the radio listening, try to get into the chat. We'd love to
Please.
hear you.
But to answer Tommy's question, I am not convinced the Earth is flat.
Me
Come
neither,
on,
Tom.
Tommy.
Me neither, Tom.
Well, we need to get a boat, and we need to head on over there to Antarctica and see if we fall off the edge. Because if you think of it, if you have a piece of paper, okay, let's do a visual here.
Oh, Jenny's arts and crafts.
Here, you're on a boat.
That's a
Here's the boat.
pretty looking boat, Jenny. I like it.
You're
Oh
riding
my
on the
gosh, there we
boat,
go.
and you're going to tip over. So I don't know why, unless it's gravity holding you on.
Well, so if
Okay,
the Earth,
what
if
is
the Earth
over
indeed,
the edge? That's what I want to know.
Well,
What
if
is
the-
over the edge? Is there creatures like on Game of Thrones? Those zombie guys. What are they called, guys?
So-
What are they called? Somebody watching Game of Thrones. What are those white guys with the white faces and the big blue eyes? What are they called? Oh, jeez. How about
That's Augie. How about Uranus?
Uranus? I don't like that.
I don't know. How's
like that.
Uranus?
Uranus.
I
No,
mean,
seriously.
Is around.
Because what if there's creatures like, because with Cern, we forgot to talk about Cern with him. I wanted to talk about
Oh
what his
my.
Cern. Okay, what if they open up this portal and there are creatures, but what if those creatures are over the edge?
Well, here's a question.
That's
So,
why there's a treaty, because
Hold
they
on a
don't want us to
second.
go over the
Hold
edge.
on, let
So,
Jay get his
if
question
the-
in.
if the Earth is indeed flat, and they got telescopes out there, Hubble Space Telescope and whatever, and it's looking back on Earth, why do we not see a bottom
that's
side
funny,
of
huh?
rocks or whatever?
Cart.
Exactly.
Like we don't see it. Like
He's
where?
laughing.
What is the bottom?
The bottom is
You know, if
those
it's been
creatures.
orbited all around by
Oh
all this
God.
stuff and whatever.
Wait, I have to find out. I'm sorry, I have to stop right now. If
Tommy
anybody's
says-
listening, wait,
Tommy-
I'm talking, John. I have to know what those creatures are called on Game of Thrones. What were they?
Google it on your cell phone.
Knights? I can't do that. My phone is busy right now.
Well, make it not busy and type it in Google with your fingers
They
and
call
then
them
get the answer.
walkers, night walkers, winter walkers, Tommy knockers.
Antarctica.
Langoliers.
So,
Jesus.
speaking of the Antarctic,
Lord help me.
I don't think there's any help for you at this point, Jenny.
No, I'm being totally serious because I think if there's a reason, there's a treaty.
Oh, Sean disappeared. Look.
Okay,
He's
I
wearing
took
that
him.
green
Oh
shirt.
my
There he's
God,
back.
There's a reason. There's a treaty. What are they hiding? And how long is this treaty? What did he say?
Well, that was
Go
because you
drop,
had the
Sean.
undersea cables, he said.
Okay,
right?
no,
Jason,
see, that's horseshit.
Jason, look
That's
it up.
horseshit. That's horseshit. I don't believe it's about underwater cables.
Jason,
because
look it up.
we have a lot of underwater cables all over the place. And why Antarctica? I believe because
No, Jason,
they find
Why?
I
oil
put you
there.
in charge. Look it up and see why. What is the?
Why you put
the
me in
treaty
charge?
over? Is
Sean,
it-
get your fingers on your cell phone and start looking
He
this
doesn't
up.
know how to do it. So,
My cell phone's busy.
are you texting somebody? Who are you texting?
I'm not texting anybody. You
He's
said your
texting on
phone
the
was
job.
busy. Oh, you
Let's
just had an
listen.
orb go flying
You're not
across the
supposed
All
to-
screen.
right,
Did you
what?
see it?
I'm going to look it up.
No,
Go ahead. Jen.
No.
What are we looking up?
What
How
is
about all
the
three of
treaty?
us look it up and see what kind of
I
crap we all
can't.
come
My
up with?
phone is busy. I'm doing.
What's
a
it
live
doing?
stream. I'm
What?
streaming.
What is?
Oh,
I'm
my
trying to
Lord.
get people to join
What was the question?
UFO Paranormal Radio Network Facebook page and YouTube page.
Oh, here it is. What is the
Live
Antarctic
stream.
Treaty? The Antarctic Treaty System is the whole complex of arrangements made for the purpose of regulating relations among states in the Antarctic. At its heart is the Antarctic Treaty itself. The original parties of the treaty were the 12 nations active in the Antarctic during the International Geophysical Year of 1957 and 58.
So I guess somebody sent me a message saying it's also to protect a fragile ecosystem from nuclear tests and nuclear waste.
That's possible.
Hmm.
That's possible.
There's just so much crap out there that we have no idea about. But life must go on.
Okay,
Seriously?
now they also have a, when I Google this, says what is the Antarctic Treaty in simple words? The primary
This is for you,
purpose-
Sean.
Yeah, for me, I agree with you, dude. I couldn't understand that last shit I read. The primary purpose of the Antarctic Treaty is to ensure, in the interest of all mankind, that Antarctica shall continue forever to be used exclusively for peaceful purposes and shall not become the scene or object of an international discord. To this end, it prohibits military activity except in support of science.
Jenny, what are you doing?
Playing with myself. What's it look like I'm doing?
Are you-
Lord have mercy, my virgin ears.
My son-
boy.
No.
My virgin
Well, that's because
ears.
your mind's in the gutter.
So did either of you see the video that's been circulating around? I think it's like once a year the moon looks like it gets insanely close to Earth, I think in the Arctic Circle
That's an optical illusion.
or something like that. Anybody
I never
did you
heard
see
of that, bud. No,
Yeah, I
I
just saw the video the other day. And it happens like once a year or something. It looks like the moon's actually going to crash into the Earth, but it just zips right over because the Earth's moving so fast. I don't know.
Speaking of the moon, how'd your moon ceremony go, John?
Oh, I loved
Did
it.
you
I had
shed the
fun.
blood of the innocent?
No, but I did sacrifice a few squirrels in the process of it.
I thought you were
My
an
poor
animal.
dog
Good
ate a
job.
possum. Oh no, he ate my doggy ate a groundhog.
Oh my God.
She didn't actually eat it. She just shook it to death.
Did I ever tell you about the groundhog that pretty much got killed by a hawk in my backyard?
Oh no,
No.
that's horrible. I would
Yeah,
love to
so
see that though. Did
After
you
moving
video
here, we have the hawks out here get kind of vicious in the summer, so you got to be careful with small dogs and everything. But since we've lived here, we've had a groundhog get tore apart and it was still alive.
Oh,
then-
damn. Did you shoot it?
I took care of business.
Oh,
and,
God.
and then
Oh,
there were
Tom-
several times that you'll find tufts of fur all over the place from hawks coming down and getting rabbits.
Okay, Tommy has something to say here. I'd say they probably found proof that there were civilizations on Antarctica, but if the Earth isn't round, would it have never been unfrozen? Wow. Should have came up to that about an hour ago, but could have some.
Yeah.
information.
Okay, we have what? How long do we have left to the show?
Oh hell, about 25 minutes.
Okay, we need some suggestions for show ideas. I think we did everything we possibly could do. And we need some new ideas and we need some
We
new
have
guests.
some investigations coming up, so we could talk about those in a couple
Okay.
weeks.
What do you have? You have somewhere. What are you doing, Sean?
I
He
don't
was
know,
doing his
just-
evening exercises, sit
Yeah,
and be
that's
fit.
it. You know,
With
getting
Richard
my,
Simmons.
my
You
arm.
know we're on live. We're on live.
Yeah, I know.
You know
I
that there could
know,
be
I know.
someone looking and maybe it'd be your big break and they see you stretching. It's just
Yeah, they might. Think,
your armpits.
Well,
Okay,
like I said,
so you
Sean's going
have-
for the sit and be fit.
So yeah, I did that though. By the way, I did that when I was in a car accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got me through until I could walk again. Okay.
Yeah, so we got one.
So
this
you have
Friday night.
you have an investigation next week. Where? When?
We got one
Friday
this
night.
week and next week.
Yeah, Friday night we're going to be at the Penn Brewery in the north
Whoever's
side.
watching, just turn the channel.
Oh, you know what? I think I wouldn't want to go there. I heard a lot of hauntings.
Are
over
you
there.
sure you heard Penn Brewery or the Church Brew Works?
PENNBREWER.
Oh no.
Because the Church
So-
Brew Works was pretty popular.
Okay, maybe it was that. So you're going there this weekend.
This Friday. yeah.
Friday.
I just want to do a service announcement real quick on behalf of Pittsburgh Paranormal Society. They are looking for investigators. So if you would like to be an investigator, you should definitely contact Sean Kelly. He has a Facebook page called the Pittsburgh Paranormal Society. You can give him a direct message. He's looking for some new members. We want some new, young, old, fresh face who have the ambition and drive to be ghost hunters. So check
There
it
you
out.
go. Thank you for that. Now, Jay, tell her about the one in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, we're going to the Hinsdale House up in New York.
Oh, you
At,
went there last time.
No, we haven't been there at all. You're probably
I
thinking
thought
of
you
Belair
went to the
House.
Hinsdale. Oh, we did
Yeah,
a
we
show
went to
on the
the-
Hinsdale.
We went to the Kinsman House and the Belair House, and yeah, we had the show on the.
Oh, I
Hinsdale
watched the video.
Hinsdale
What
House.
I heard that was really haunted.
What?
There's a
Hinsdale?
room there. Yeah, there's a room there that I think I watched it on Pittsburgh, one of those travels channels.
Well,
there
all
was
I
a-
know is it's got to be legit. Hopefully, we experience it because they are booked up like a year in advance, and it was almost impossible to get there.
Yep.
There you
But
go.
we did.
There was
And,
2 slots left.
We're gonna see what it's all about. So I'm
Mhm.
pretty excited for that one. I think it's like 4 hours away, which isn't bad.
Nah,
It's
3
good
and a
they-
half.
They let a lot of places actually, believe it or not, for their overnights, they end up throwing you out anywhere between 2 and 4 in the morning. Which, for an overnight investigation, okay, that's reasonable. Except when you're from out of town, from like 4 or 5 hours away, then you got to try and drive home or whatever.
It
Makes it a
takes
little tough.
toll
It'd
on
be
you.
cool if you could stay till 9 or 10 o'clock,
Yeah.
wake up, and then drive home.
Mhm.
But I just
But,
want to say,
hey, if
I
anybody.
just want to say one more time. If you want to be a ghost hunter, definitely contact Sean Kelly of Pittsburgh Paranormal Society Facebook page and a direct message.
I like your music, Dan.
I'm going to be
Hey.
hearing that song in my nightmares.
Seriously,
Then we
if
know
you-
Jenny's coming.
No,
Yeah.
seriously, if you're interested in the ghost paranormal and you have experienced a paranormal activity and you think
We'll
you'd be a
train
great
you.
investigator, they will train you.
Jenny's going to start coming on investigations too.
I don't
Yeah.
need to. I know there's
Well,
ghosts. And I
why
know.
don't-
they-
you know what
there's-
we should
there's so
do
many
is
here, I can't take it.
We should do a investigation, but have that as the show.
Yeah,
Then,
can we
like,
do that,
if
Jen?
we had to
We did that
pre-record it,
before. I thought
we'll
we
go
did
and
that
investigate,
before.
and then
I thought we did that.
No, we
Well,
didn't.
in the very beginning, we tried doing some lives and stuff.
That
but
was
it's
fun,
kinda-
though. I had fun doing that with you guys. Remember? I know you don't want to remember because
I remember that one up around Westmoreland County. Yeah. That was
no, I'm
great.
talking about the one at the
Bel Air House.
no.
No, the club.
I thought that was fun because Russell, he had that connect, and I seen that woman, somebody going like this over cleaning the bar.
So what do you think of that? The SLS. I want to see what you guys think about it. 'Cause Jenny, you
SLS?
saw that. Sean, what do you think?
I
about
thought it was real.
I don't. I'm still on the fence with it. You know,
See-
I don't understand it. To be honest with you. I
Well,
don't.
what it is, it's a bunch of light sensors, and they pick up, like shapes or.
I thought that
Now,
looked like
the
somebody.
thing with the SLS is you got to be careful though, because it can pick up shapes or objects to make you think it's something that's really not. Like there might be a chair or something that it might, just
Well,
pick up different parts of it. But there was, Sean, was it the Kinsman house we were at, and Russ had it out, and we were in the one room. I think it was where we had all our stuff, and I guess a spirit or stick figure showed up sitting in the one chair, but then when he asked it to wave its arm, it did. And
Yeah,
then
I think it was
said
the
something about
Kinsman.
getting up and going away, and it just like got up and then just took off like running.
Right.
It was crazy.
How about the one that he picked up on?
it
Russ
happens
picked
to me
up
on a
with
date.
The one,
I take off.
the one Russ picked up where one just climbed up a wall.
Well,
Where
then
was that
that's
one?
not. You know what John Bentry would say? That's demonic.
Uh,
Oh, absolutely.
I
It's
love
demonic.
y'all.
Everything's
I
demonic.
love John to death, man. And I mean, one day we're going to have a debate on that. You know that every spirit is
What demonic or spirit?
I tried to get him to come to a bonfire at my house this weekend.
We're trying to get you to go on an investigation, so now you know what it's like.
Yeah. So there.
Yeah. So there.
I don't want no one piggybacking.
Who's going to piggyback?
Sean
They
ain't
did
gonna get on
before
your
when
back.
I
You both
did the
be
I
going
ghost
won't let you
investigation.
pig. No. no.
When I was at Bushy Run Battlefield, they
Well,
piggybacked
Who
on.
were you with?
I was with the whole bunch. You weren't
No,
you?
I wasn't. I wasn't there.
Okay, Faith was there.
Okay.
There was a Pittsburgh Paranormal. She was teaching a class.
Right. No. She asked me to come in and do a little speech, but the day that you got like so-called piggyback, I wasn't there. You know, and every time that we went on a bus, have you ever got piggybacked or
I need a
Jason?
neck massage.
Sean, send
God.
your angels. Send your angels over to Jenny. She needs a massage.
Oh, Jenny, I'll send my angels over to you. They'll give you a neck massage.
Do you
No
feel it on
problem.
your back, Jenny?
I don't
They're
feel
coming
anything.
over right now.
I don't feel anything but pain.
Oh my!
But
What were you saying,
so,
Sean?
uh,
About piggybacking?
yeah, you. Did you ever go on an investigation, come home and something follow you?
Yes.
When?
From my the woods next to my house.
Yes, he did have someone piggyback on him. See?
Yeah, because we got a name and got rid of it.
What was his name?
I think it was Larry.
You know,
Sounds
the
like
other,
it.
Yeah, the name came up, and then I did some searching around and talked to my neighbors and stuff, and it was an actual person that had lived in a house that was burned down and
Oh,
all
that's
kinds of crazy
creepy.
stuff. And
There's that one house that's next to his. I'm telling you, it's creepy as sin, boy.
yeah, I
It
won't go
really
back up there.
is. It's
Although,
just
if I
pretty-
do get a chance to find the when the guys are whoever's up there messing around once in a while, it's very rare. But if I get a chance to catch them, I'm going to ask if I can get permission to go in there and investigate it. That would be pretty
hopefully
sweet.
you can get in there and investigate.
okay, so I just wanted to tell you all that Pittsburgh Paranormal Society is looking for
Oh my god!
investigators. So if you're interested, please call Sean Kelly at Pittsburgh Paranormal Society.
Oh my god!
Jeez.
Oh my god! And if anybody wants to be a guest on our show, your contact Jenny Nicasio.
Jenny, you're
Definitely.
tickling Sean Pink tonight.
Yes, you
Well,
are. You
I'm
just
trying to get him to get some investigators. And
Chris
if you think
Kringle
he'd
is
be
looking
a-
for investigators.
Chris Kringle.
Santa Claus over here.
Right here.
Oh,
No, I look like that. What was that snowman on Rudolph? You know, that little burrow eyes and shit?
Bumble. You look like
Bumble.
Bumble.
Something like that, yeah.
Bumble bounce.
you
I
At
know,
won't
least
let
he's
it grow
talking
out
about
like that, though. I want to see how far this goes down. You know, how far I can get
you
it.
gonna braid it?
I'm thinking about it. I might have to because for work, you know, I'd have to find somebody who knows how to braid hair to do it. But no, there's guys that I worked
your
with
brother.
that they had beards like this down to here, and they had to get it braided, or else they had to get cut off.
Because
God.
yeah, I have those too.
Jenny has finally found the audio files
Yeah.
that she could never find for the last.
Sounds
30
like-
years.
Oh man, this sounds like some porn music from the '80s.
What kind of crap
I
are you
know.
watching?
You know, StreamYard should get some new music in their library. If you guys have any music ideas, please email Sean Kelly.
Oh no.
Message Sean Kelly
Yeah,
if
message
you
me
have
for
music
everything.
ideas.
If you message me whatever you want, I'll make sure it gets to the appropriate
Message
person.
Sean Kelly with your Christmas list.
Seriously, you know, Christmas is right around the corner.
Oh.
Well, let me
know.
get through Halloween first.
It ain't gonna happen because
I do want to
spooky
say, Carol Oakley wants to be back on the show. She's a medium psychic, and I met her. I saw her she was on the show before, and I ran into her at Target.
She said, "Excuse me, Jesus."
And we were talking, and she said that we're interested in having a group reading at Nicasia Fields in Harrison City, Pennsylvania on October 30th. We're going to start advertising and setting up tickets. If anybody's interested, it is on Devil's Night. Yeah, Devil's Night.
Let me
It's
get
at
a
the
little
Fields.
paper
You remember the
notes.
Fields? You guys were there.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to be. It's going to hopefully be outside. So I'm hoping for a warm night, and it'll be nice.
Well, hell,
Yeah, it's
you know
almost
what-
hoodie season already.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's time for women to steal their boyfriends or husbands' hoodies.
What the heck are you
Is it-
talking
is it-
about?
Oh my
Oh.
God. It's all over TikTok, man. Come on.
What?
You
People
watch.
steal each other's hoodies?
No, the women.
Sean's brother's gonna steal his.
No. 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 Anybody out there have any suggestions for our show? Jason
Message
Fox.
Sean Kelly.
My message is Sean Kelly of the Paranormal Society.
Oh,
He'll
God.
teach you all the ins and outs of becoming a
Oh, here we go. Porn music. 80s porn music. Yep.
seriously.
Oh my
It's
God.
that time of the night where I'm
Oh,
starting
so
to get
Sean, I'm pretty excited for the investigations because I'm gonna try out that new tripwire that I acquired.
what do you mean
Awesome.
tripwire?
It's an EMF tripwire that you could, people say they see shadows walk through a hall or doorways. Well, we'll put the tripwire down, and if they do, it'll light up and let us know.
Oh, that's cool. That's good.
I've
I
seen
need
those.
one of those.
You know what? I've seen those, and another group when I was down there at that Buxton house down there. That one group from Ohio, they had one, and they laid it on the floor. It did hit, you know.
Yeah. Nice.
I was talking to one of our listeners, and they said there's a lot of activity, a UFO activity in Jeanette, Pennsylvania lately. And I'm going to try to get Stan Gordon back on the show. I got some speakers, so now he can be on the show because he doesn't, he's an old school, he doesn't use, StreamYard. So I have to call him up and have to put him on speakerphone. And then
It's
he can hear you
2022.
guys. I know, but I'm going to try to
Then
get him.
we'll have John Ventry come on with them.
Well, yeah, I know they have a lot in
You know, we're
common.
gonna have to start talking about ghosts and paranormal soon. With Halloween coming.
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely.
definitely. We can do that. We can have a walk through here.
Look at your soundproofing.
No, there's a lot of crazy stuff. TV's going on, lights flickering, a lot of strange activity.
How about Ava? Is she just staring off?
Oh,
into the
Ava's a
corner?
sweetheart. No, she's a sweetheart. I just love my dog to death.
Mhm.
I have to.
How old is she now?
She's 9. She was 9. She was 9 on September 4th, and I totally forgot it was her birthday till the end of the day. I felt so bad because I usually take her to Dairy Queen.
Yeah, my little dog, she just turned 9, I think, in July, and the next birthday he'll be 7 in
Wow.
a couple days.
Yes, we have. We had many Bigfoot experts on the show, Tommy. You know, Bigfoot is a big hairy guy that stinks. I personally think it's just something happened.
With as many
Today.
people with as many people that are searching for Bigfoot and UFOs, like, don't you think there'd be a lot more concrete evidence by now?
Yeah, that's what
Let's
I
be
said.
honest. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
I
even
agree.
like even in the ghost paranormal world, like I had to see it to believe it, and then once I lived it, that was changed my perspective. But catching the evidence and having something to
Yeah,
present,
nobody has any evidence, so that's why I
yeah,
think
I haven't seen any absolute like
no, I
concrete
agree with
evidence,
you.
or a lot of videos are like real shaky or grain,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
super grainy, and I
Now,
don't
see,
know.
when it comes now, my rule is on an EVP. You can take that and put it on some kind of, I don't know, Audacity, and you can cut out different sounds and stuff like that, and you can pick up voices. You know, they can actually be manipulated on Audacity. To me, a pure EVP is when you don't have to mess with it.
Yeah.
That you can just hear it.
Well, on that missing 411 hunted, now towards the end of the documentary, they had those men in was it Sonoma, California, and they actually had video and audio of these things that were in the forest that they heard all these like conversation between these things. Now that was it Bigfoot? They never saw him or her or the kids. They said there was a family arguing, but they never saw it. They just heard it. So it could have been anything.
Yeah, and that's what bugs me about some of the shows that they got on. That they start off. It's a 2-hour show. They get you all pumped up. They're going to find this. They're going to find that. And so you're all pumped up, waiting for them to give you evidence. And at the end of the show, they don't have no evidence to show.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's hard to believe if any of that ain't
And I'm
gonna
like,
Did they
come
ever
on.
find the treasure on Oak Island?
Oh, who knows?
Oak Island, that's
I
pretty.
haven't watched that in a long time.
Who
Yeah.
knows? I don't know.
Uh,
But if you talk to people who do study the Knights Templar, they think it's a joke.
Nice Templar.
Hey, Holly.
That's a good question. Have you ever captured a true EVP while investigating, Sean?
Oh Lord, a long time ago. Long time.
Long
We
ago.
did on the show once, huh, Sean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tell them about that story. That one time we were there.
That was really crazy. I mean, I'll never forget that. The one we got an EVP that told Sean, "You're going straight to hell."
That's true, Jay. It was.
Oh.
It was. That was before you came on the show and we were with that other lady.
It said like this: "You're going to hell."
Honest to God, it did. It did.
Nice.
Yeah. So I said, well, I'm going to hell.
Well, you better go get in your handbasket.
I'm
You know who
thinking
we have to have back on the show? We're going to have Brian Sharpless back on the show because he was really interested about those sleep shadow people.
oh man, that's my boy. Yeah,
No,
I'll just yeah, he has a sleep paralysis dude, right?
Yeah.
Oh wait, is that Sean G from down in Georgia?
Huh? What are you talking
You
about?
remember Sean G? In fact, he's the one that told us about coming on this network here.
Oh yeah, Sean Graham. Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
one that got us on here. Yeah.
He was interesting.
Yeah, I was on his show. I was on Dave Bear's show, who got me interested in doing this, and then Sean Graham had me on the show.
Do you have
Yeah.
the recording of that EVP? Because now I'm curious.
Yeah, we probably do have it
You
somewhere.
need to find that and send it to me.
It's probably on my old computer though, because I don't know how I'd get it.
That was like two.
You could probably.
I don't.
We
Holly.
could find that. I might upload it. I might have uploaded to. I wonder if it's on YouTube, Sean.
Honest to God, Jay, was, "You're going to hell."
He says you're going. We were talking about
I'll have to check it
when
out.
he had his afterlife, after death experience, and you hear
I
the
can say
voice.
over my career of paranormal, I've got a good handful of quality EVPs.
Yeah, I mean, just what I'd like to tell people is, if you want to give me an EVP, don't mess with it. Just give it to us so we could verify it.
Tommy, the way I see it, he wants to know. I'd love to hear somebody talk about how to figure out if a psychic is legit or not. I've been to a few, and definitely noticed a difference in quality between some.
Well, you know what?
There's a lot of scammers out there, Tommy. You have to really be careful.
How much money are they asking you for?
Yeah, you know what
Exactly.
you got to find out. You got to find out one who doesn't charge you. Those are
That's
the
good
ones who
point.
I think are legit.
See,
I
now,
think
if I
Carol
was to go
Oakley's pretty
see,
good.
if I was to go see a psychic myself, like other than on the show when we had a few on, that was one thing. But like, if I was actually to go somewhere to a shop or whatever, I would just walk in. Like, no calls, no way for them to trace me or get any kind of backstory. Just kind of go
Right.
in. But you got to watch, because there's a lot of people that are really good at reading people. So it's easy to like manipulate and make you hear what you think you want to hear. And then
Yeah.
you end up thinking they're psychic when they're really not. So you
And
got to
don't
watch
fall
for
for these ones who want to know. Don't give them your real name. If you do, just go in and, like you said, just go in. Or if you see a psychic online, make up a name. Don't give them your real name, because they can go Google you.
that. But I think what the problem is so many, like I said, a lot of people are really good at reading other people. They know what questions to ask, and they can kind of haul their way around to figuring out like answers. And then you're like, oh my gosh, that's right. And then once they get on that train, it just keeps rolling.
True,
So
but this is what I tell everybody who asks me this question. I say, go in, and if they ask you a question right away, you just pick your money back up and walk out the door.
Yeah,
they'll build on that
yeah, because
question.
that's what starts it all.
Yeah.
These ones that say, I have, is there an M? Is there an M? Is there a Mary? Like, that's so stupid.
Well, that's how they make their living. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of scammers out there, but there's also a lot of good ones too.
Yeah.
I think the ones that are working with the police department for missing persons, I believe they're real.
I think
I don't
Carol
think-
Oakley's pretty good.
Now, I could be wrong. I probably am wrong, but what do you guys think that like the actual legit psychics are more of the ones that are like hidden in the back? Like they're not
Possibility.
out in the forefront, trying to get that quick buck or whatever, but you might hear
Exactly.
about them through somebody else.
Mhm.
That might lead me more to believe, something
Yeah,
along that
that's
line.
what I'd say. I think if you have the gift, you want to help people, but I don't think you want to scam people and take their money.
No.
Like if
Well,
someone
karma
loses,
bites ya.
yeah. I mean, I can see if they need like donations. If they take donations, I said, okay, that's okay, because they're not. Let's say they're not working and this is their work, and they want to accept donations. But I mean, legit donations. I don't go to their Facebook page. Yeah, you want a reading? It's $250. Okay, whatever.
Donations are appreciated, but not required.
Yeah, that'd be nice if you have like like churches have those little baskets to give donations. You don't have to give it, because you can still go to the sermon.
Yeah.
Do you donate, Jenny?
You
What?
just got to be
Do you
careful.
donate when you go to church?
Yeah. I go to church.
Do you donate?
What?
Do you donate?
I do. I'm not all the time. When I have the money, I do.
Isn't it
Let me
supposed
tell
to be
you
like
about
10%
the
of your
Catholic
pay or
Church and
something?
donations.
Yeah.
This is a true story. And when I was in the 6th grade, my mom broke her ankle, and she could not go to church because she was in a wheelchair. The priest actually came to my mother's door, knocked on it, didn't ask to see how she was doing. He said, "Where's our collection money?"
I don't believe it.
Now that was back in the 70s.
Or do
That was
you
back
mean
in-
those people that go around and they're having I forget what it is called. They do it every year, where they go around the neighborhood and they come to you to ask you for a donation.
Mhm.
Maybe it happened to be the same time that they were doing it. That your
Are you
mother
talking
broke
about
her ankle.
Jehovah's Witness?
No, Catholic Church is a certain time of the year. I forget what it's called, and I can't stand it because the whole homily is about that. And I usually don't go to church. They're starting to actually say that the week before we're going to be doing this. So in case you don't want to go to church that day, so you don't go.
I don't know. I got a theory behind going to church, and I'm not going to get it because I'll get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah, me too.
I have a theory too, but
I was raised it for 12 years.
I like to go to church. I like to go to praise. I like to sing. I like to sing.
Why don't you sing for us real quick?
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Now you should play some,
Well, you know what we'll do, Jenny? How about
music.
this? We'll have to StreamYard each other and like rehearse a song, and I'll play the guitar and you can sing.
Seriously, I sing this to my little niece and my nephew. On the day that you were born, the angels got together and decided to create a dream come true. That's what I sing to them. I love my
Sean's
I like that song.
my grandbaby.
You just hit his soul.
I just sing.
You just
to
touched
them.
Sean's soul, Jenny.
Oh,
You did.
sorry.
But it's the witching hour.
Okay. The wishing hour.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you, everybody.
I'm hoping we have a
for coming to
good
Torture Tuesday.
Guest next week. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Travis Walton is this next week or the next week. But then again, John might be just bullshitting us. So I have to be careful. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust anybody anymore.
Good night, Gracie.
Wait a minute. I gotta find our ending.
See y'all next week.
See, that's what I can't do. I can't find it because there's so much. It's clutter. There's
Just
so
get a
much
folder
clutter
on your desktop that has it.
There's so much clutter.